So, guys, today is another interesting day because we are going to be looking at the history of this whole idea of Ambazonia. Right here on this platform, our goal is to ensure that we uncover the truth. It is that basic, but the truth is actually what will set us free. We are at this juncture in our evolution that we need to be real with what we are dealing with, because our situations and our condition is real. And so it's not time for us to bluff. It's not time to play politics. It's not time to think that you are smart. It's time to realize that this is really what you're dealing with and address it as it is and find concrete solution so that we can preserve the existence of our people. I believe that we are at a place where if we do the right thing right now, because it's never late to turn back, but if we do the right thing right now, we will ensure victory and sustainability of our people. We'll be listening to some key players that have actually been an eye-opener for me, because it's like you come in and you say you really want to be part of what is going on to help your people, but you hear different stories, and so you're trying to make out what is actually happening just based on listening to these guys, but you are able to analyze what they are saying and be able to formulate your own thoughts and then realize what the real problem is and then say this is the way forward. So I would like for you to listen to some of these players, some of these activists, some of these guys that have been trying their best in one way or another to help our people come out of the situation that they find themselves in. So take a listen.
Ever see where the bone we will grow up, we say Cameroon get one president. But Ambazonia, today, where they put in now make 2 weeks, they don't get 7 presidents.
Okay. So right there, you realize that is the leaders of the Ambazonian movement, the current leaders on the ground. They came together and formed this coalition and said, we want to be able to take the lead right now because we've realized that our leaders in the diaspora are so divided. They've had numerous presidents just within a very short period, and they've grown their whole life knowing this one president. And so they're like, okay, if you guys don't figure out your stuff, we are not going to be part of it, and we will take our destiny in our own hands. So that is what the leaders are saying on the ground to the leaders in the diaspora. That is very interesting for us to observe, that there is tension, there's division within the Ambazonian leaders in the diaspora. When I talk about Ambazonia, I'm really actually talking about the English-speaking people of Cameroon. So keep listening.
Slowly, just like how Ambazonia terrorism, we've been at a process where we started since in the early 1990s. The word say Ambazonia, it come about since 1984. So it has been a slow, gradual build-up through lies, like the one the way John go function them and the people them for SCNs, they talk and say they don't go for United Nations, they carry UN flag, they talk say the United Nations decolonization, all of that nonsense. Those were all lies.
Okay, before we continue, he just made something. He just made a point that caught my attention. Young people, I know I did history up to the advanced level in Cameroon. Like I believe that we are the people that we have been waiting for. Young people of Cameroon, both French and English speaking Cameroonians, we are that people to bring that transformation in that nation. And in order for us to do so, we have to listen to what these leaders are saying to have perspective. But we will not let the events of the past influence our decision. I did not know that the name Ambazonia was invented in 1984. That is long time ago. There was an idea called Ambazonia. Did you know that? Maybe you didn't. There was an idea. Keep listening.
Those lies over a long period of time, sustained, consistent lies. When the Anglophone elites, failed politicians, them, where they lie to their own people, them, that the radicalization that, where a radicalized Anglophones, them, it reached a boiling point for 2016, where they carry guns, them. Even now today they start, or they be one for carry guns. Anglophones have always wanted to carry guns against the central state. When I listen to this short video.
Some of you talking war. You don't even know how to shoot a gun.
Now, Nijon Fronti that they talk. I'm guessing this video is in the 90s, where they talk to a rally of Anglophone youth. They tell them, say, when they talk, say, war. When I not even know how to operate gun. When I hear the picking with shout for crowd, they say, Papa, we go learn them. That was in the 90s, if I'm not mistaken. So now when they don't finally pick up the guns, Anglophones them in their bad belly and disingenuous nature, they can begin talking about Pobia declare war for them. Anglophones have always wanted to try this. Now when they don't try them, it backfire on them. Shame they do them for talk the truth. For can't talk say, we tried it and we failed. We surrender like how Biafra be do them. So they can't begin to talk. They rap their tongue, talk, go up, come down, say not only dialogue, not only negotiation will solve this. No amount of appeasement or negotiation for the diaspora it go ever take the guns away from the Shidno Wiblas their hands. There is only one way, compromise them or they surrender. Actually, two ways, Kumkum or DDR.
On the entire economy.
Okay. So that is eye-opening right there. We are understanding right now that the idea of Ambazonia is not something that just came out of the teachers and lawyers marching on the street, demanding for certain rights. And then all of a sudden, these rights were denied. And then they took up to the streets. And because of that, the military intervened. And now we have this war, which is leading to liberation or leading to independence. So there was an idea of Ambazonia long time ago. And this is very, very important that every youth, when I talk about youth, if you're 40 and below in Cameroon or outside of Cameroon, should pay attention to this. There was an idea called Ambazonia a long time ago. And now you understand the reason why it was very easy for these guys to pick up a fight and start a war. And they were mentors and leaders standing on the side, waiting for the slightest opportunity to get this dream of Ambazonia to become a reality. And some of you young people that just joined this fight because of the pain that you've had in your heart, seeing your people die early 2016, and you're like, what? And you pick up the fight. And he made a mention of something very important. He said, Nijon Fronti, who was the chairman of the opposition party in Cameroon for a very long time, God bless his soul, he's of late right now, he died recently. He asked them the question, you are saying you want to fight. Do you know how to shoot a gun? And then a youth in the crowd said, we will learn how to shoot a gun. When you have this premeditated concept in your mind, this premeditated desire to pick up guns to go fight, the slightest push, you'll pick up a gun. If you've had in your mind that you want to go to war, the slightest push will lead you to war. Imagine the start of the First World War and the Second World War. You've heard about the assassination of Archduke Francis. It was just a little fight, like little misagreement or little disagreement, and war started. I mean, little disagreement. See, listen, the outbreak of the First World War was not because of the assassination of Archduke Francis. There were allied powers that were putting weapons together, preparing themselves to fight this war. The mistake with our people is that they never prepared. And if you've read the book, The Art of War by Sun Tzu, you realize that there are many things that these leaders are doing wrong, and there is no hope for them to ever win this war. You understand what I'm saying? I encourage everybody go read that book, The Art of War by Sun Tzu. There are certain principles, timeless principles, that have existed for a very long time, that leaders have always used these principles and understand through these principles if they will even win a war or not, or if they should start the war or not. And so most of our leaders don't have a clue. You can't just jump out of 2016. And yes, you guys had this whole idea of Ambazonia, but did you prepare for it? Did you prepare to fight? Did you train your soldiers? And what did you do? I mean, scouting the location is not enough to prepare to fight a war. There is a lot that goes into fighting a war. And without preparation, you can never defeat a force, a general that is prepared, trained, armed, disciplined, and most importantly, they are rewarded for what they do. Most of our soldiers do not. And that is the reason why it is hard for them to even win. A little bit of misunderstanding, division is within our camp. And now we're fighting each other. Even the leaders were not prepared. You can't just jump out in 2016 and think we're going to win and lead this nation and create a nation. It doesn't work like that, guys. It doesn't. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so that was the whole notion of Ambazonia. You've heard it. And it is important to understand that you cannot set division within the camp of the military in Cameroon and have them killing each other like we are doing within ourselves. Do you understand what I'm saying? You cannot do that. Why? Because they are trained. There are certain rules of conduct that they abide by. There are certain disciplines and trainings and reward systems that have been put in place to make sure that the soldiers are well taken care of. And when they go out there in battle, they win. And even if they die, there is a way they handle those situations. And we do not have any of this. It takes time. It takes training. It takes preparation. It takes discipline. It takes money. There's a lot that goes into building a formidable soldier that will go out there and ensure victory for you. And we do not have that. And so what I'm seeing right now is like if you hear what he's saying, it indicates that most of our soldiers right now, they are by themselves doing what they are doing by themselves. The leaders in the diaspora do not even have the power right now to stop them. And that is a fact. That's something I think I should highlight. They do not have the power to stop them. Because once people have had guns in their hands and have this power and they can go out there and actually do something and make money, it is tough for you to just tell them drop their weapons, and they drop it. So they don't even have the power right now. And I understand that. And that is why the DDR Center guys are doing what they are doing. You can realize that, or you will realize that most of the soldiers right now on the ground will not just acquiesce to dropping their weapons. Even if some of the leaders or the leaders in the diaspora that they listen to tell them to drop their guns, they will not. What are they going to do with their lives? This is what they've known for the past 7 years. It's a tough situation we are dealing with here. But there are other strategies and solutions and propositions that we can actually start preaching messages on this and have them change their mind in the process. Because in spite of what the DDR Center is doing and the military is doing, I don't really think someone should die. I don't think people should be dying. I think there should be a way to ensure that these guys drop their weapons or change strategies instead of dying or the military killing them the way they are going about it. And I just feel so much grief in my heart to see young people that have so much life ahead of them die like that. So let's keep listening.
And from all indications, La République du Cameroon is not close to resolving that problem right now, because they are rather going to, within the framework of that budget that is still suffering, that has not yet been voted, be increasing again the cost of a liter of petrol, liter of super, liter of gas oil, and all of those things. They will be forced to increase again. And of course, the citizens of La République du Cameroon will still sit, get confused, and then run to Ashu Nyenti. And then they will definitely be asking Ashu Nyenti, Ashu, what is happening to us right now? And this is what he will say.
Cameroonians, we are lucky. We are made because we have Paul Biya at the helm of the state CAF. This president is our greatest marksman. He is our principal goal scorer.
Oh yes, he is the principal goal scorer. Ashu, there I agree with you. He's the marksman, the principal goal scorer. That's why he has dribbled the people constantly for 41 years, getting to 42. Dribbled them every time and scored the goals, and the people kept thinking, no, 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 things will change. And I'm looking at them. Now people are running helter skelter with gallons around looking for petrol. In some places there is hoarding now taking place, hoarding, where they keep it and then they start selling it, behind closed doors. And when they're not selling it behind closed doors, it's no longer the price that is regulated. Cameroon will soon come to terms with the reality that they can no longer stabilize the prices of petroleum products, that they have to let the free market forces determine how it goes. And
So that is John Akoro, and he is a reputable journalist, an activist for this movement. And when I had this vision to help our people have perspective so that they can actually free themselves, he was one of those individuals that I listened to his content extensively. And through listening to his content, I begin to realize that this is not just an issue that Anglophones are dealing with. It is a national issue. Because one of the things, this is one of the journalists that I endorse, that you listen to him, listen to his channel, because if you listen to his content more, you will understand that the Ambazonian problem that they are highlighting, or that most of the leaders are highlighting, is actually a problem that the entire nation is dealing with. That is, we have shortage of fuel, we have bad roads, we have occultism. So he goes on to highlight a lot of the socioeconomic conditions of the nation, and he actually brings them to limelight to help you understand that the issue that they are actually highlighting is a problem within the entire nation. That is, we need to fix that entire country. He highlights broken systems. He highlights all the marginalization aspect within the entire nation, not just in the English-speaking part of Cameroon. So he helped me to understand a lot about what is really going on. And it gave me perspective to realize that we need to help the entire nation. The entire nation is in jeopardy. We need to help. And I believe with all my heart that Cameroon doesn't belong to one man, doesn't belong to Paul Biya. It belongs to all of us. We are Cameroon. We are Cameroon. We are the people that we have been waiting for. And it will take systematic change, cooperative effort to believe in that Cameroon. How can we be building a nation when in 1984 people already had an idea of Ambazonia, planning to separate the nation? How can you even throw your heart, your spirit, and everything into making that nation work? It's like a marriage that you guys come together and the wife is already thinking of divorce from the very beginning of that marriage. There is no way that she will see anything good that you do. Everything that you do, she will be seeing the worst. Because why? I have it in my heart that I am not here. I'm gone. I'm divorced. Any slight opportunity, if I get a chance, I'm out of here. When you come into any relationship, be it business, marriage, a country like the one we find ourselves in, it will not work. Imagine if we throw our hearts and everything into this nation, let go of the past, believe in the possibilities of that nation. Imagine where we would be today. Don't underestimate your effort, English-speaking Cameroonians. You guys speak a language that is globally recognized as a business language. That is an asset. Developing our nation should not be embedded just on the fact that we have resources. They are assets that we have. Human beings are assets, the greatest asset and resource. And we underestimate what we can do. And that is what I highlight through this content to help us have faith, perspective, direction, passion, a sense of nationalism, of which I think is lacking in our nation. And so he helped me to understand that you cannot just go with the Ambazonia idea, because what he is highlighting is really what is happening within the entire nation. The entire nation is a melting pot and needs help. We need to step in and do everything that we can. As we travel abroad, we need to structure what we do collectively in the diaspora to help the nation. What we study collectively in the diaspora to help our nation. What we invest in collectively in the diaspora to help our nation, and what we invest in back home to help our nation. It is a cooperative effort. Only through that can we succeed. If this thing is like, oh, we're out of here, guys, it's going to be tough, because everything that you plan to do, you will have to still do that when you separate. More people is good. More people, you know that. The power of numbers. That's why Nigerians, most of their musicians, they produce songs today and it goes viral. They have the numbers, and so they go platinum very fast. Why? Because they have the numbers. There's power in numbers, and there's also power in the slight diversity that we have. We speak English and French, and that is a huge asset for us. And I think we need to be able to see this as a plus instead of a minus. Instead of demonizing them, let's see how we can embrace them and show them we are in this together. And I think that has never existed in our nation. Having this sense of nationalism, us understanding that we are Cameroon, we are that nation. If that nation will succeed, it's up to us. Whatever you plan to separate and build, you can still make that happen within that nation. It starts with the mindset. The people's mindset have been away from that nation for more than 35 years. 1984. That is the English-speaking people of Cameroon. Their minds have been away from that nation. That is, they never thought this nation has any hope for them. There's no hope in this country. There is no possibility of them succeeding in this nation. And see, their minds was not in that nation. And this is time for us to rekindle that spark. Have perspective. Start working cooperatively, intentionally. Let's keep watching, guys. I would like for us right now to look at what is actually happening within some of the leaders in the diaspora. I heard some very disturbing message today regarding some of the ways with which these leaders carry themselves, and it really bothers me. And we should be concerned about it. Take a listen.
People like every tattoo be worse than the devil. Every tattoo. That idiot, that fool, it be worse than the devil. That fool, and I will prove for now. How person for the revolution? I put the video for screen when I see am phone. I will know it at the top. When I just give me a second, let me put this video on the screen. When I saw that take I chop Christmas, because when some of you want to talk, when I say Mr. Nancho be just talk. When I see am, when I hear. Now, when I take I watch.
They call me back. Sako na number one enemy for the revolution. May be very clear. In the same way you treat Pobia, if you see Pobia and Sako, finish with Sako first. Because Sako was, a jobless man. You should be clear. I don't get no tendency, no compassion, no possibility to be concerned with Sako. Me don't be clear. Me not say no mommy call me. If you see
when I hear fellow Ambazonia said, when I hear it with this beef to talk. He say, if you see Pobia and you see Sako, may you kill Sako. When I hear it come out, by the way, not that the first time we hear any kind of talk for the revolution. Mark Berata, they don't talk and say they give God away one country inside. You put Sako, you put Pobia. He say you go shoot Sako, he left Pobia, then you Pobia later. Tapan Ivo talk the same thing. So if you put Sako, you put Pobia, he go shoot Sako, he left Pobia. Now, this Sombo from Maryland, he can talk the same thing. When I hear again.
No problem. Now I get good heart. Me, my heart already hardened against that criminal. Yes. The same way they call me back. Sako, number one enemy for the revolution. Be very clear. In the same way you treat Pobia, if you see Pobia and Sako, finish with Sako first.
When I hear, when I say devil, now Ambazonians, they make some man keep Pobia for them. Then you will get gone, you get the opportunity to keep Pobia. When I hear to this idiot, this frustrated baboon, Murun, in the talk, say, he will keep Sako in there for them. It is showing that the magnitude of hatred when the boy bring up for this revolution. When I see how the expression of hatred and bitterness because of jealousy. And I thank God for Sako because every day Sako. The hatred this fool get him against Sako. He said if you put Pobia, you put Sako, he will kill Sako level. When I hear that, no, me I talk him. Mommy and Papa them. Now the reason that we fight for this revolution. I don't understand. If you see Mark Barata some people, you get opportunity for killing or you'll kill, you go save the soul of millions of Ambazonians. My turn at the truth, and they talk for television without fear of favor. Simply because they don't kill people. They don't kill fighters. Yeah, which way you talk. Mark Barata will kill his papa. Mark Barata literally give his papa for occultism. Mark Barata, because of money, he sell his papa every time to kill his mommy for occultism. Every time to kill him mommy for occultism. Mark Barata kill his papa for occultism. How do you know if you kill our fighters and general them? If you require about you for night now, you ask say, who is your enemy? He will call it Dr. Sako. When I show me one bad way if I don't fight. I want only one where you go fight to take kill like Republic military. But if never kill Florence Ayafo, if never go cut cheese their head, if never go kidnap people, if never go open condom factory for these rape people they are picking them, sleep small girls them, Efang and Ayabacho be very good for that kind of thing. Ayabacho don't carry AIDS for Norway. Where you work as sleep people their woman them, sleep small girl them. Go Canada, go sleep people all over. I have a children and AIDS patient. Every that the same thing, AIDS. Because the workers sleep people, their woman them, sleep, small get them in the name of struggle. What a mess. We don't hear FM for about 4 years now. All we hear about FM, na condom factory. It is rape picking them. It don't open condom factory. It go attack other camps them. It kill people. It attack not only Ambazonians them. It don't kidnap people. It don't cut chiefs yet. All the bad things for this struggle. Now Efang the Duam and Ayabacho.
Cameroon is correct to say that we have not.
Okay. So listening to that video helps you understand how we went into this struggle without preparing. It also shows us how incompetent some of our leaders are. It also shows us how we should think twice before we start any struggle. Right now, some of the leaders don't even feel like giving up. They still come on every day, turn on their cameras, and have different stories to tell the people to keep thinking that there is some hope in this whole struggle. It is insane. I mean, like, I don't know what is going on, but I don't get it. This is something that we should come to terms with, that there is no way that you should be thinking of separating that nation. Even if in the beginning you guys felt like it was a good idea and you felt like you were making some progress, there is no way right now where we find ourselves to think that you will win this struggle and call that nation an independent Ambazonia. It is impossible. I mean, I don't know what kind of magic you guys are going to use, but there is no hope. If you look at all the strategies that people take to win a battle, all those odds are on your side, which indicates that the failure is inevitable. It cannot be avoided. Failure is very imminent in this whole initiative of Ambazonia. That is what I see right now. I'm not dealing with, I mean, that is why I'm getting into this with a fresh perspective. I don't want to get caught up in somebody's idea or emotions. I just deal with it the way I see it. I analyze it based on the way I see it. I analyze it based on research on how wars are fought, how people succeed, their motives, their strategies, their plans, discipline, action, budget, all of that put into consideration. There is no hope, no way that you guys can win this battle right now. So instead of us thinking like we should come online and turn on our cameras and keep thinking that this is something that is going to be a possibility is just a complete waste of time. And I think we should try to start reorientating the people on a different direction. If it's economic development, I think you can start initiating that. Please, guys, I just want to let most of these leaders know. That is why I encourage the youths. It's time for you to stand up and take your destiny into your hands. If not, in the next 20 years, you will probably be 40, 60, and you will be telling the same story. Most of these folks that you see, they are probably in their late 40s. Most of these folks leading you into this battle. And the reality is that, guys, the life expectancy of Cameroonians are within the ages of 60, 61. How old do you think these people still have to live? Take your destiny into your hands. Young people, stop dying. Stop wasting valuable time in a war that these people had premeditated since 1984 and never gave their all to build that nation so that you can have an opportunity in Cameroon. But rather, they were meditating on the idea to separate the nation. And now you are caught up in this. Some of them started planning about this when you were not even born. This is insane that people can take past events. Let the past be the past, guys. Take the past, put it into the future, and try to create a reality that is not even possible. That is exactly what we are dealing with here. Anytime you try to build based on past hurt, there is a high chance that you make a mistake and you'll never succeed in that mission. I want to repeat, anytime you try to build a future based on past hurts, America was not built because people felt like they were trying to revenge something. No, these people left and created a whole new nation and felt like they should move on and create a future for themselves. And they did just that. You see what I'm saying? People don't build like that. You cannot just start a company based on pain, based on hurt, trying to revenge. It's going to fail. You start a company that succeeds and thrives and lives long based on the vision, based on ambition, based on passion, based on you seeing the future and wanting to change the circumstances and not trying to build based on past historical events that hurt you and you're building based on pain. You cannot build on anger and succeed. You make a lot of mistakes, of which most of you guys are already. You make a lot of mistakes. You'll be misguided. You'll be acting a lot. You will acting most of the time based on emotion. That is what happens when you want to do anything based on anger or pain or frustration. You got to be able to deal with that anger ruthlessly and have a clear mind and be creative and visionary to help. You can have all these ideas floating around, but it doesn't mean you implement them. Once you are trying to build or attempting to build based on the past hurts that you've amassed for more than 35 years, you cannot build on that. I guarantee you that project will fail. Even God will not bless you if you're building based on pain, based on hurt. We got to let whatever happened between our failed politicians and our leaders in the past, whatever mistakes they made, we got to accept that reality and be able to see the future for what it is. See this reality for what it is. Cameroon is one nation. They speak English and French. You guys got to come to terms with that reality and be able to make for yourself that dream that you want to see in that Cameroon. That is, if you don't like the Cameroon, you're in the diaspora, good luck with that. You can build a life for yourself over there and move on with your kids. You can do that as well. And forget about Cameroon. That is an option too. You're not bind to a specific geographical location. You can move on. But there are some people who genuinely want to see that nation grow. There are some people who genuinely have love for those people and will not want any of them to die for whatever reason, and will be able to show them a way for them to make a life for themselves in that nation. And that is what I think. I would like for us to listen to another video and then we'll wrap up the session. It's another interesting video. You've been hearing about the Canadian pre-talks. That is, with there's a hope that Canada can get involved in this situation. Call our president, have these leaders who are proposing that they want federation so that they can have a conversation and come to an amicable conclusion. So there was a whole initiative like that. It's good to think like that, but I don't believe that talking is going to help us. But if you guys want the talking, okay, go ahead for that. But the talking is not what is really going to save us. We need action. We need sustainable plans. We need action. Okay, we need to go to work. We need to be building. we need to initiate change. So, guys, be real. For the past 35 years, you've not had your heart in that nation. You've not put your all in that nation. You haven't given your all in your children and their children's children to believe in the possibilities of that nation. We've not had that conversation. And that is why you are here. And if not, this cycle is going to repeat itself. Our children rise up and pick up the same energy. This is proof that we've not, the Ambazonian movement is proof that we've not given our all to that nation, the English-speaking people of Cameroon. Most of you, not all. I know there are some smart, amazing people that have done incredible things for that nation. Most English-speaking Cameroonians, the leaders, some of you guys, you have not given your all to that nation to ensure its prosperity, believing that you're part of that country. Most of you haven't given that. You've always looked at every problem, misunderstanding with contempt and revenge. And that is why we are where we are today. So let's take a listen.
Mandated anybody. Can they show statement from the Foreign Minister of Cameroon? Can they show me any statement from the President? When the Foreign Minister of Canada talks in international law, he binds the state of Canada. When the President or Prime Minister of Canada, who is the head of the talks, these guys who came to talk in Canada, how do I know they are even from Cameroon? I know they are friends to John Gute. John Gute has no powers. So I'm not even interested in what those guys did. So it's embarrassing in diplomacy that Cameroon sent some people, came and disowned them. But in international law, Cameroon has that right. We don't know these people. Our foreign minister never gave them full powers documents. Our president never gave them full powers document. In the international plane, they cannot bind us. Those people are some low-level people sent from a certain prime minister from Zian. They cannot be bothered. It's embarrassing to Canada. Why did Canada not ask for the right papers?
Comrade, we were told at the beginning of these Canadian pre-talks that the person who initiated these talks was the Prime Minister in consultation and with the backing of Paul Biya. This is what the Canadians told us. So how then can we turn around to say the delegation that went to Canada was not properly backed up by the Cameroon government? Are you saying that the Prime Minister did not have the powers to appoint people to represent his country?
I'm repeating the same thing. He has no powers, Chris. In the international scene, the guy, even the head of the parliament, cannot go in international law and bind the state of Cameroon. If the person in the international scene is the president and the foreign minister that can bound that state. It is only in specialized areas. For example, the Minister of Health in a case in International Court of Justice, they've said that he can, because the issue was so technical, they can accept him that he bound the state which was involved. Otherwise, he does powers. Whatever he said means nothing. So, and then secondly, Chris, even our reaction, when the foreign minister talks, if we think that we are people, you don't go on Twitter talking, you don't go on Facebook. You have to send something in international law and in international diplomacy. They call it note verbal. So Ambazonia was to send a note verbal to the Canadian government to state its position. In the International Court of Justice, a non-verbal has been accepted as notification for this thing. And if you make a statement in the international organizations like in the UN General Assembly or other international organizations, that evidence has been accepted. We are there talking on Twitter, talking on this. The only person who wrote to a note verbal to the Canadian foreign minister was Republic of Ambazonia. And it is there. I'm not, I saw the letter, so I'm not at liberty to discuss the content. But at least he did it properly.
We are the ones who mess up ourselves very much. Like, Comrade Chris, let's be honest. Let's not come here and be wasting our time and other people's time. Let's talk about our own problems. Let's not be pointing fingers out there. And Martin just sat here now and talked about a letter that he validates to be the right approach from the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, right? Martin, yes. Did you say that? Which you think was the right approach?
Yeah, I said that we were supposed to write a note verbal to the Canadian government, which I think it has been done.
Which Republic of Ambazonia and which president did that are you talking about? Because we are sitting here talking to another man, our host here,
Who is the president of another federal republic of Ambazonia? Which is the president who said that? Let's talk about that.
Honest, I've seen
Dancing around. This is we are talking to a
you know, they just
here.
call me a
Is he
comrade,
the one who sent the letter?
like every other person out there, just like you. So those big titles, I think when we get to Boya, we will have to validate and get into them. We're all comrades. You know, they just call me a comrade like every other person out there, just.
Martin.
Okay. You will understand that there is this tension and confusion that continues to eat us up, right? He made mention of something that we have our own internal issues we have to deal with, and I agree with that. We have a tribalism, we have division among leaders. All of these issues that are actually eating us up, we are not addressing these issues. You see what I'm saying? And again, I said it and I said it again because I know and I believe in my heart that if we were a separate nation, we would have all killed each other because we were fighting for power, which is what we have seen with our leaders right now. We would have all killed each other. And I think joining the French was a good thing. It helped us to preserve our lives. And even with our own struggles, we managed to stay alive. We would have all killed each other. Internal conflict and challenges that we deal within ourselves is more intense than that of which we are dealing with the French-speaking Cameroonians. And I just want to highlight that to let you understand that right now, let's be thinking about how to develop our nation together, build our nation together, have a vision for our country together, work cooperatively together with the French and not just by ourselves. That is what we should be thinking. It will take a lot of mind drill because it starts with the mind. Whatever you set your mind to, whatever you think and process, because guys, you have a programming, right? If you have been programmed to think a certain way, you can never walk opposite to that programming. It's like an operating system. Excuse me. It's like an operating system that runs a particular program. And in order for you to have a smooth computer or have a computer that functions differently, you need another operating system. We need a new operating system in our brain, the operating system of unity, the operating system of collaboration, the operating system of believing that we are part of Cameroon, and so we will cooperate and build that nation. We need that operating system. Guys, if you've been conditioned, I mean, like, hearing this, some of you are like, damn, I don't even believe you're saying this. Join what? Be what? Because why? You cannot act. You cannot act inconsistent with the programming that you've had your whole life. And so what I'm saying this, it just bounce some of you like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Let's do it. While others will be like, what? You're a black leg. I mean, like, you could say all sorts of things. But what I'm saying is what is happening right now is formatting that operating system. I had to intentionally do that for myself. Be able to come into a problem like this with a neutral mind and be able to think my way through and have perspective. You get it? And I encourage every English-speaking Cameroonian to do the same. Be able to lay these problems down, detach yourself from it, and think objectively. Don't be programmed by some activists online to think a certain way. No, you put this problem on the table and diagnose it for yourself and think critically around those problems. You'll be able to form your own conclusions. And with that, I think it will not result in violence. It will not result in you picking up a gun to go fight because you know it's a failed strategy. And I will be able to formulate my own thoughts based on what I see on the reality on the ground. And not somebody rising up to program you to go think a certain way, to act a certain way, which is what I see. Hey, see, one thing I was taught in school while I was in the seminary is we were taught by our philosophy teacher when he came to class very first day. What he did was he encouraged us to dispute everything he says, not to believe everything he says, to think for ourselves and realize if it's true or not. And that was very fascinating because it gave us an open mind to be able to come up with different ideas about that same problem. And we're able to arrive at maybe a similar conclusion, which is like, okay, we see that this is the way to go. This is actually what to do. And why was because we were able to formulate our own thoughts. We have different ideas on how that problem presents itself, but we arrive at a conclusion that gave us perspective. And he was happy at the end because he gave us that freedom to think. When you condition the people to think a certain way, you're not helping them to use their brain, which is the only gift that God gave them. Think for yourself. When you hear somebody like John Ba Akoro, think for yourself, listen to what he's saying, and be able to break down those problems that we are dealing with in our nation, you arrive at a different conclusion rather than picking guns. When you listen to someone like Sako, you listen to someone like Chris Anu, all of these leaders, just listen to what they say, look at the reality of what is happening in our country, you arrive at a different conclusion. You'll be able to understand exactly what is going on if you think for yourself. If you arrive at the conclusion that you should pick up gun, then you know where your destiny lies. You know your fate. You know what is going to end up becoming the outcome of your life if you choose that direction. If you choose to work hard and believe in the possibilities of that nation, you know the outcome of your life as well. But if you choose to end at a conclusion where you think picking up a gun is the solution, you know the outcome of that. Do you see what I'm saying? All you have to do is think for yourself, and they will not give you that liberty. That is why this activist, the condition you to think a certain way. After putting out this video, if you listen to what I said, and you as a leader as well, you don't think for yourself, and you come up again and put up another video about this whole problem, saying we should keep fighting for God knows how long. I understand that programming is so, you're so locked into it that it's gonna be hard. Like, you see what these leaders are saying, and I actually said this before before I joined this program and start doing the things I'm doing. I said I could see it in a vision. I could see it in a vision that very soon, especially this 2024, leaders in the diaspora will start killing one another. This thing is not just going to be back home like we're seeing within the Ambazonian forces. No, leaders in the diaspora will start killing one another. You heard the guy said, if you find Mark Barata anywhere, just kill him. If you find him, kill him, because you do the people justice. I mean, this is the level at which this has gotten to. Are you understand what I'm saying? We cannot just lay back and just fold our arms, because it's going to meet you. Nobody is exempted. You will be affected in some way or another in this struggle. So that is why I'm calling on all the youths to cooperate unanimously. Let's do something. Act now and change the conditions of our people. You cannot afford to be quiet. I expect you to say something and do something. Be part of this movement and say, we are not part of this, and we want to be able to build our nation, and we want to be able to follow proven strategies that people have used over time to build their own nations, and apply the same strategies and build our own nation. We will borrow ideas from other nations and implement in Cameroon and make it work. Canada is proof. They are going to Canada and trying to have Canada help them separate from Cameroon. But Canada doesn't have a history of separation. Canada has had a history of reconciling their differences. In spite the challenges that they face, they come together somehow to make it work. That is the history Canada has. And yet you go into them, which I find is like an oxymoron. It's like an irony. It's like you're confusing your own self. How can you be going to Canada to help you separate from Cameroon when they don't have a history of encouraging separation? They've tried as much as possible to stick together, in spite their differences or people rising up within Canada to separate the nation. Why can't we do the same in Cameroon? Why should the idea be independence and then we come into federation? Don't you think that is just a road that makes it difficult for the French-speaking Cameroonians to even think of having a conversation with you, because you have this mindset? If I'm married and my wife thinks about divorce all the time, and now I'm coming to the table to discuss about how to have us stay in marriage, it's just weird. You guys just quit and start doing the right thing. I mean, just quit all of this and start doing the right thing. And some people have been asking me, what is my stance in this struggle? My stance is that people should stop dying. Nobody should die. Youths should not be trained to pick up guns and go fight. If people feel like they are passionate about this vision enough, they should go down there and fight for their children. We have this nature in Africa of having children die or having parents eat before children. And I'm living in the West and I'm realizing people take care of children first before themselves. They make sure that the children have a space before they create a space for themselves. We have the nature and the tendency of sacrificing our children and then have ourselves stay on the side and watch these children die. We have that history of prioritizing elders over children. We have that history of sacrificing children for the parents, for the elders. But in America, they prefer to sacrifice their lives for their children. They will preserve the next generation. Their structures, their businesses, their churches, everything is structured saying we prioritize the children. Go down there. Let's see at least 5 of you die on the battleground or fighting on the battleground to prove to these kids that you can sacrifice something for them, for crying out loud. Go down there and let one of you die. Let us at least understand that you are passionate enough about the struggle. Young people, quit listening to all these old folks spewing hate and conditioning you to think a certain way so that they can ruin your destiny. They are after your life. They are after your future. They will sacrifice you for their own pleasure. Quit listening to all of them. Unfriend, unsubscribe from their channels. Anybody that wants to use the past as a tool, as a weapon to make you feel hate and resentment so that you can pick up a gun and go die, unsubscribe from their channels. Boycott every movement that they initiate. Do not listen to them at all. If you have a dream and a burning desire in your heart, there's a way for you to make it in that nation, and do not die. I'm coming because I'm going to lead and I'm going to show you guys the way to make that happen in that nation. You are the rejected stone and you become the chief cornerstone. You will make it in that Cameroon. There are possibilities in that nation. When I lived in Cameroon, my mind was clouded by this rhetoric. I was hearing it in the community that someday this nation will separate. It's not something that started today. And that's why I agree with the brother. There was this notion that this nation will separate someday. And there were conspiracy theorists that were propagating this message, of which they continue to do. I mean, if any of these leaders, after listening to my video, decide to still come online and turn on your camera to incite war and let the children go out there and die, I understand that you're a psychopathic maniac that will not repent, will not change. You will not even blink. And so the only way is for these people to avoid you. Avoid them. When they have their live sessions, do not show up. Boycott them. When they sit by themselves and talk and nobody is paying attention, they will change or they will fade away. That is the strategy, young people. Quit. The old folks that want to help you build, welcome them. Those who want to incite violence and let you think that, oh, the French people came in and started killing us, and not knowing that in 1984 they were planning this separation and now you're joining them. Quit. Don't be part of this game. It is too deep for you to understand. And they have gone to a dark place that it is hard for most of them to return unless they repent and change. Do not join their movements. Do not join all of these games that they are playing with your lives. Take your destiny in your hands. The Mr. Leos, they have done it in Cameroon. The Selatiers have done it in Cameroon. The Magascos, they have done it in Cameroon. You too can do it in Cameroon. The Canquintus, they have done it in Cameroon. Oh, you say, oh, Canquintus is coming from America. However, but I just want to let you know there are many great artists, business owners, entrepreneurs, designers that have emerged from within Cameroon without traveling abroad, and they have made it. And we want to say we applaud them and we will stand behind that idea, that initiative, that vision, and be able to help our people come out of poverty. Guys, this has been an incredible session. Just sitting and listening to these leaders, these activists, journalists, inspiring individuals, share their perspective on a nation we all love. And I want to say, based on the fact that there was this idea some years ago, helps me to understand why it's easy for them to incite war and be bent, because if they've had this pain in their heart for 35 years, to let it go right now is going to be tough for most of them. Boycott them. Break away from their channels. Unsubscribe from their channels. Don't even watch their content. That is how you destroy the spirit. It is a spirit in them, and if the spirit refuses to go, separate yourself from them. And that is how you have a safe space for you to think creatively and start making a way for yourself in that nation. Guys, a couple of weeks ago, I realized that there were some contents that were coming on my Facebook constantly. Every time I turn on Facebook, I see this content. I'll watch videos coming out of this group of people, and I keep asking myself the question, what is this doing to my mind? I realized that keep watching that content was programming me to think a certain way. And what I did was I started unsubscribing, blocking, because you have the block option on Facebook and the unsubscribe option on YouTube. I started blocking. I clicked the block button, and I realized that when I blocked about 20 people coming out of this nation with that message, all of a sudden I could turn on my Facebook and have a different way of thinking. And I just want to let you know, it's the same thing. When you block these people, stop listening to them, unsubscribe from their channels, within a week, you've been for 7 years in this cloud of Ambazonia and all of this fighting and terrorism and all of that. In 1 week of you unsubscribing from these channels, you will experience a different kind of peace. You start thinking differently. You have a fresh perspective to look at life differently. Just give yourself a break. This is close to 7 years I have not been in this. Do you see how free I am? I'm not attached to anything, and I'm able to see clearly what is happening. Just detach yourself from this for 1 week, and you start feeling some peace. You sleep in the night and have good dreams. And all of a sudden, you start believing again and start having hope again. I love you guys so much, and I hope this session has been inspiring. And until next time, keep watching, guys. I love you, and I'm praying for you guys. And our best days are ahead of us. And 2024 will be an even better year. I love you guys. Until next time, stay blessed. All right. If you like this video, you're going to like this other episode, and you can watch it by clicking right here.